welcome back to the grind. Today we're going to be making our vegan chocolate espresso cake. If you've been to the grind, I'm sure you remember it. If you haven't, it's a really simple cake. The recipe actually came about from the Depression era, so that's why there's no eggs or butter or anything. It's just naturally vegan, dairy-free, animal product-free, and it is just so good in a variety of different ways. You can put so many different fillings, so many different frostings. Really, it's just limited only by your imagination, and it's super simple, but a few things that we learned along the way that I will teach you. So we're going to start off with our baking mix. So we have 1.5 cups of our baking mix that I taught you how to make in our last YouTube video. So we're going to put that in there. Then we're going to add a cup of sugar. I've got raw sugar in here. You could use coconut sugar. You could use anything that is not liquid as a substitute, and it should work fairly well. Then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of cocoa, pure cocoa powder works the best. We had ours milled in Stittsville at the grind, but any kind of pure cocoa powder. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm using pink Himalayan sea salt today. Sea salt of any kind is definitely best. The pink Himalayan is really good for detoxifying, and it's got many good properties. Look it up, it's a great salt to use. So we're gonna go ahead and just combine our dry ingredients really, really well. Trying not to say this time, so I'll try and hold myself back. This is the most important step of this cake actually, because once we add all of the wet ingredients in, you want to barely stir it. If you've ever made muffins, it's a lot like that, where you want to just get them combined and then stop. This is the biggest problem that we ran into at the Daily Grind making this cake. Was we would have a new baker come in, or volunteer, or whoever was coming in to make it, and they would overmix. And if you overmix this cake, it is rubber. You can fling it around like a frisbee. And if you undermix it, obviously you're going to get a whole bunch of lumps of baking soda and things like that. So the perfect amount of mixing is very important for this. It may take a few times to learn, but hopefully I can teach you how to this time. So then we're going to mix our wet ingredients separately. And so we're going to start with, I'm missing one of my ingredients. So I'm going to sneak on over here and get a cup of water. So at the Daily Grind, we did a cup of cold coffee. That's where the chocolate espresso cake came in. You can also, a little bit more. You can also use milk. Then of course it wouldn't be vegan. You can use water. You could do like a chai tea, and that would give it a bit of a spicy fall flavor to it. But since I did not have time to get the cold coffee, and I just want to finally get this video recorded so that you guys can have another video, we're gonna go with water. And then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of vinegar, super, super important. That's gonna activate the baking soda, and that's gonna give you all the fluff and all of the rise to your cake. Then we've got a teaspoon of vanilla. Sometimes I put a little more, sometimes I do 2 teaspoons because I really like vanilla. And then we're gonna do 1/3 cup of oil. And just use whatever oil you want to, really. Like I'm using olive oil today, which is gonna make a richer cake. So you're gonna make a well in the center, as with anything that you don't want to overstir, because you want to get it kind of down in there so that you're not having to stir too much. Get all our wet ingredients in there. And then you're just gonna kind of do like a folding, because you want to incorporate everything, but like I've said already several times, you do not want to overmix this. This was actually the cake that we used as our test for our bakers. When we were trying out new bakers, this was the first thing we would have them bake to see if they had the touch or not. So you'll find out if you have the touch or not. And if you don't, I've taught so many people to be able to make this. So it's definitely a skill that you can learn as well. So at the Daily Grind, we did both the cute little bundt cakes and 9-inch rounds that we stacked and put, well, most of the time we would put a raspberry jam in between them. Sometimes we just went chocolate all the way and just did our chocolate icing, which I'm gonna teach you how to make too. And one of my favorites was when we made a peanut butter icing. And then of course you can do just vanilla bean icing. But if you want to keep it vegan, then you're definitely going to have to figure out a different type of recipe than you're used to, unless you're already baking vegan. But I will help you guys with that in our next video. So you want to fill them, I'm doing cupcakes, so you want to fill them about 2/3 full. And you're going to bake them at 350. You can go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. And the cupcakes are only going to take about 10 minutes, somewhere around there. I check them and do the toothpaste trick is how I know, where you insert a toothpick or like a shish kebab skewer or something like that, and if it comes out clean or with just a few little crumbs on it, then you're good. But if it's got, gooey stuff on it, then it's got to go back in. See if we can scrape out this last little bit here for one more. This looks like it's going to be good because there's no lumpy things. Hopefully we didn't overstir it. All right. So we're gonna stick these in the oven and come back and check them in 10 minutes. All right, so we've gotten our cupcakes out of the oven. Our lovely, beautiful, fluffy. You can see the fluff. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous cupcake. So, and they ended up taking me about 14 minutes. So it's obviously going to vary based on your oven. I'm working with a new oven right now, so this one took a bit longer. And so if you watch the next video, I just taught you guys how to make this beautiful, fluffy, vegan chocolate icing. So make yourself a batch of that. Maybe wait for them to cool so it's not melting on it like this one. And you will have our famous chocolate espresso cake. So that's it for this week. We'll be making some new videos next week. Thanks for coming back to the grind.
Here we go back to the grind, cause we know what it takes to shine. We got more than just pride on the line. We got hardware on our minds. We're gonna lift that trophy high. We're gonna watch the 12 banner fly. I see the hunger in our eyes. Hawk Nation on the rise.